All right, here I am in Tinkercad. If this is your first time in Tinkercad, welcome. I'm going to start a new design, and the first idea that I have for a 3D holiday ornament would be a outline of a shape with some other shapes or words inside it. Let me explain to you what I mean. Let me take this tube shape. I just drag it right over. And as I do, you can see that I have all my shape controls. Each of these will manipulate the shape in a different way. But I think a good size for a ornament would be about 2 inches or 50 millimeters. So I'm just going to stretch this up to 50 by 50, holding the shift key to avoid warping. And then I want it to be pretty flat, like let's call it 3 millimeters high. I think this is a good little frame for something that you could hang on a tree. And just, let's see, just to take care of this right at the beginning, let's go ahead and put a ring on the top that is a little smaller. And I'm just going to reduce that to the same height of 3 millimeters. And then I'll just try to center it a little better. Cool, so we've got a hanging thing. So what do we put in the middle? You could do literally anything, but here's one idea. I could just put a big old heart in there. And the colors that you see here do not reflect how it's going to print. You will request the actual print color from me. So this doesn't quite connect yet, which means I need to make it bigger. And I'm going to use the camera to go all the way around. I'm going to try to center it, and then I'm going to flatten this down. And then I'm going to select all these shapes together and use the group key, also known as Control G. So I think we've just come up with a very simple kind of ornament. Let's spice it up just a little bit though. I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to shrink the size of this heart down. And I'm going to copy and paste using Control C and Control V. You can also go up here to copy and paste. Let's use 3 of these. How about that? And how about this? A star in the middle. And it's a little too big to start with, but I'm just going to shrink it down. And let's add a layer effect. If we have stuff that is not all exactly the same height, then we can actually switch the colors during the printing process so that different things appear in different colors. How about that? So I'm going to hold Shift while I select 1, 2, and 3 hearts. I'm going to stretch them up. Instead of 3 millimeters, let's call it 4. And then I click off to the side so I have nothing selected. Click the star so it's up to 5. And actually, I'm going to shrink it some more before I do that. I should shrink it a little more. 6 is fine. So let's make sure this is all connected. Here's another approach to a hanging ornament that I think is pretty cool. And if you have the layers here, we can do the ring in one color, we can do the hearts in another color, and we can do the star in another color. Pretty cool. And as long as it's all connected, then it'll print as one piece. Certainly any other kinds of shapes that you want could go in here, but let me just do one more thing with this. The text is going to say, what is the text going to say? BTS forever. And I'm going to do this in different rows. So it's going to actually be different text shapes. BTS, copy and paste, move it down here. And the reason I like to copy and paste instead of using another text shape is that it keeps the same size and font. So I'm going to change the text of this bottom one to say forever. All right. And that's just a little higher than everything else. So we've just created a hanging ornament with a ring on the outside to hold everything together. And we put some shapes and words over that in a layered pattern that will allow us to use different colors for different parts of the design. And that is ornament number 1.